So yes, there's this inquiry. A question is asked concerning the book of Galatians as to which law is being referred to in the book of Galatians. And some of our brethren have held the view that it is only ceremonial law. But according to inspirational writings, it says that it is the whole general idea of the law, for that is the main subject of that book of Galatians. Okay? So, but the argument mainly was against this vast system of ceremonialism. Ceremonialism, in its nature, it kind of perverts the gospel, it perverts ceremonial law and the moral law. Because what happens in ceremonialism, it is it, it inclusive of moral law and ceremonial law at the same time. But the center of ceremonialism, or a nucleus of ceremonialism, is circumcision. Okay? So now the Pharisees, especially the one that which believed in Jesus Christ, that which have accepted the gospel of Jesus Christ, they've kind of imposed that ceremonialism to Christians, or to Galatians, because they were Christians. So ceremonialism means that you need to be circumcised in order to be saved, in order to be justified, in order to be made righteous. And by being circumcised, by default, you are a keeper of the law. That means it is equivalent to keeping all the commandments of God, according to ceremonialism. Okay? And by so doing, it kind of negates the doctrine of faith in Jesus Christ for justification, for salvation. It kind of take away that doctrine of faith, and now it places works as a means of justification rather than faith in Jesus Christ as a justification. So this was the argument that Paul was making, that no, works cannot save a soul. Works are not accepted in the Lord's sight. So you need to work in order to be justified. That's not how the gospel works. The gospel, it is by having faith in Jesus, or by believing in Jesus Christ, in order to be saved, in order to be justified, in order to be made righteous. Okay? So, a creature married, God do not recognize, especially when it comes to matters of righteousness or justification. God do not recognize. God can only recognize faith. Thus you are made righteous. Thus you are justified. Thus you are sanctified. So this argument, actually, it is in the book of, I think the book of Acts, right? So this issue came up. So the brethren now were sent to Jerusalem. I think they were in Syria, in Antioch, then pertaining this matter of circumcision. Because now the brethren, especially the Pharisees which believed, they came up with this issue that no, the saints need to be circumcised in order to be saved, to keep the law of Moses, to be saved. Then they went and inquired in Jerusalem to the apostles, and the apostles, they kind of like objected to that idea. They said, no, this is a burden now. We're making the gospel a burden. It becomes a bondage instead of being free from sin or any bondage. Okay, so Paul and I mean Peter and James, they've made it clear that no, only if they've believed in Jesus Christ, they will be accepted, right, by grace. So there's no need now for them to be circumcised in order to be justified. Okay? So Paul then, he brought the feedback, he brought the results to the brethren in Syria. He said, no, there's no need now for observing the ceremonial law. Understand? Because now, by observing the ceremonial law, we are saying that Christ died in vain. Okay, because now the ceremonial law is the opposite of faith. Because now this subject of ceremonialism, it is inclusive of moral law within. Now the moral law is being reduced to ceremonial law. Because if you are circumcised, which is part of ceremonial law, it says that by default you are a keeper of the law of God. So moral law now, it becomes part of works, because now it is within that system of ceremonialism. So Paul now was arguing that point, that no, this system of ceremonialism is perverting the true gospel of Jesus Christ. Because bear in mind that the main subject in the book of Galatians is the true gospel of Jesus Christ against the false gospel, or against the perversion of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Because the gospel of Jesus Christ, it is by faith of Jesus Christ. And the other gospel, of which is not another, but the perversion of the gospel of Jesus Christ, it says that you need to circumcise. The other was pointing to the other, meaning ceremonial law was pointing to Jesus Christ. So Christ has come, then there's no need for the observance of ceremonial law. So according to the mind of the Lord, circumcision, yes, it reflects keeping all the commandments of God, but through faith, in spirit, not in flesh, not in works. Circumcision means faith in Jesus Christ and keeping all the commandments of God through Jesus Christ. On our own accord, it is very impossible to keep the commandments of God. It is through Jesus Christ that we can keep the commandments of God. So, yes, I just wanted to clarify the subject as to which law is being referred to in the book of Galatians. So may God bless us as we seek his face. Amen.